Hey guys, I'm Jessica Mulder.
And I'm Nick Kaminsky.
And this is The Hardway Pod. Today, here we go. Podcast about learning from your mistakes. See, I always forget, but I'm like,
we don't even need it anymore.
Episode 14. Figure it out.
Wow, yes.
I know. It's very exciting. And our guest today is the beautiful and amazing comic actress, Mary Elaine
Ramsey.
Wow.
Oh, we almost said your name.
You talked over me and it threw me off.
No, I was trying to say it together.
Mary Elaine Ramsey. Yeah. We did it.
Welcome. Hi, welcome.
Thank you, guys.
How you doing?
It was such a nice, overwhelming tag team of an intro.
We try to be nice. We try to be overwhelming.
We're a little much.
That's what we do at this podcast.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Well, we all know.
Show us the finger. Guys, you're going to have to get on the YouTube video to see this beautiful Band-Aid she's created.
Like a scrunchy tourniquet?
It is. It's James Franco, 172 hours. I was opening a can of chickpeas, and I didn't open the whole thing, so I just ripped it off. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, you're going to fucking hurt yourself. And I did. Like, it was gushing blood.
Oh, no.
That's a hard way lesson in itself on the way to the podcast.
Know.
Yeah. It's the worst when you know you're going to do it
and
about
you do it
a second
anyway.
before. It's always in the kitchen. Always.
You always have the thought, don't do that.
As you're doing the thing. Yeah. I have that with I have this scar on my hand, and it's like from me doing like the Reynolds wrap foil, and you know how it has the jagged edge?
Yeah.
And I went like that, and
it just
sliced open
That's
my
another
hand.
one.
Yeah.
That's jagged, too. Have any of you guys ever used a mandolin in the kitchen before?
No. Why does
It's
that sound
those
like an
things that-
instrument?
Oh,
It
yeah,
is
like
also an
mandolin
instrument.
potatoes
Yeah,
and stuff.
I have like PTSD from those now. Like I chopped off so much of my finger one time.
Oh my God, like a thin slice?
It went right into the potatoes. I had to fish out that part of my finger.
Ew, you fished it out?
Fished
you didn't
it
just
out.
dispose of all that?
No, I did dispose
okay.
of the potatoes. I disposed of the
I
potatoes.
am never eating at your house.
But I wanted to find the piece of my finger first. I wanted to find it.
God.
It was just
Like
like
a
I needed to know.
victory lap?
It was like a trophy. Yeah, I was like No, that's too many episodes. I'd be referred to as a serial killer.
Did you? No, I don't want to ask.
No, I didn't.
Did you know what I was going to say?
I don't.
Did you taste it to see if it was
That's what
potato
I thought you
or
were gonna
skin?
say.
I'm sorry.
And I did not. I did not.
Yeah, right. I don't buy it.
No.
Oh, man. All right, guys. So now that Nick has disgusted us beyond ever eating in his kitchen,
Yeah.
we're going to tell you what our topic is. Nick, do you want to?
I would love to. Look, guys, don't be a clown.
Yeah.
But however, let's there's lots of times you could be a clown. Let's bring this down to don't be a clown, high school edition.
Oh, yeah. Because Mary Elaine brought up a story, and I was like, dude, I was such a bozo in high school where I was like, I'm funny, and it got me into trouble that I'm like, I could absolutely do a don't be a clown situation.
I have always been kind of a clown, probably. Yeah. At least that's the way people perceive me, I'm pretty sure. High school was probably the highest clown I ever achieved, you know?
And to be clear, if we have to, we're not saying like face painting clown. We're saying trying to be funny to survive.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
shit.
gunning for a class clown.
Yeah, exactly.
Superlative.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to switch my stories, but yeah, that'll be fine. Not actual clowns. Got it. Were you guys voted anything did you guys have high schools that was voted things?
No, I remember somebody telling me, you know how you had those people that were like, I work at the yearbook thing, and I'm like, weird, but they they were like, you know, always sneaking telling people how the votes were going with stuff like that, and I almost got, but I was beat out by another girl, this girl Lauren Lipton, who said, and I was like, the way that she described why she won over me, and it was for one who lives it up, okay? It's because
You lost the one who lives it up.
I lost to this girl, Lauren, and she was like, I think it's because it's not about partying and like having fun. It's about being happy and positive. And I was like,
oh my God.
Bitch.
She sounds awful.
I was so fucked up. I was always happy. All right. No, but no, she was a nice girl, but it was just kind of
Too
funny.
Nice, it sounds
Way
like.
too nice. She's too busy living it up.
How is she popular? She would have been hated at my school.
Yeah. I don't know. I think our school is just small enough that like everybody was popular in their own group, and there were like two guys, the poor guys, that were just so unpopular that you were like, oh my God.
Were they unpopular because they were poor, or were they also jerks?
No, there was one kid, poor Robbie. He was poor.
Florida fascinates
and it's like,
me.
I wasn't rich. I was middle class, but we went to this Catholic high school where kids would get like BMW M3s for their 16th birthday.
It's so weird how class comes into social.
Yeah.
It's so fucking bizarre. That's such a
really
thing in
is.
high school.
Yeah, and it's
and like they have no control over it or even like an understanding of it, but it like completely just like.
But it's also like you think you're better, but you didn't earn this money, you know. But
No,
because
of
kids had
course
nice
not.
cars, like I didn't have a car at all, and this one kid did. And he had like a really shitty car, and it was the only shitty car in the lot that like wasn't an Audi or a freaking Hummer.
my
you know?
God.
And I remember like the jocks picking on him one day, and he was just trying to leave the parking space, and they kept opening his door
is like
so
a
that
John
he couldn't pull
Hughes
out.
movie.
And I felt so bad. And I remember me and my
Jesus
friend
Christ.
yelling at them and being like, "Get the fuck away from him! What is wrong with you?"
Good for you.
Because we'd always
Good
like
for
protect
you.
the little guys, you know.
How proud of you are now at those moments when it's like you yourself felt so insecure.
Yeah.
But you're like, I have to do what's right.
Yeah, because
Now it's like you just do what's right and it's an obvious choice.
Right.
But like when you're fucking 60
yeah, you're in high
and there's
school.
popular kids, it's like, oh.
Yeah, you don't want to put
Terrifying.
yourself on the line
Oh,
for this
no.
person.
You're
Yeah.
literally taking a bullet.
Yeah, because when I was in elementary school, I had that opportunity to like defend somebody, and I didn't. But I didn't turn on him. Poor Zia.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't- but I was like, I don't want to out myself. I don't know, you know. But in high school, I didn't care. I was like, and I thought back, and I'm like, I can't think of when I was really mean to anybody because I feel like I always protected the little underdog guys. But it was also rare that you had to do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know, but I would have been terrible at it. I don't know if I would have done it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was probably a scared little idiot.
Yeah.
yeah, I was unintentionally mean a few times. Like I look back at certain things at the time that I justified as being funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, it was just you were bullying someone.
Yeah, totally.
I'm like, yeah, it was a joke.
Stop crying.
One time okay, like the one time I was like really mean and I did it because I thought it was funny, but like it kept this friend of mine like sent me because we all like played music and stuff because everything I'm about to say is so embarrassing. Every story I have about being in high school is so embarrassing because it's high school Nick, which is somehow more embarrassing than just regular 32-year-old Nick.
Yeah.
I can picture it.
Yeah.
Total theater kid too, like just a
God.
loud, annoying theater kid.
That's more cringy than the
Thespian.
finger and
Yeah.
the potatoes.
Yeah.
So
Theater
cringy.
kids were not cool, dude.
No, at my high school, I was voted something
Oh,
for
what
my
were you
senior year in high
voted?
school. It wasn't class clown.
Biggest wiener. I'm just kidding. No, and not to be confused with biggest penis.
Yeah, has the biggest penis. No, wasn't nominated for that one. What I won was, it's a weird one. It's most changed since freshman year.
Oh. And how
Not
was that?
really not really
Very
necessarily
cryptic.
a compliment.
Did you get a six pack?
Yeah.
Did you get a six pack?
Like on my body?
Yeah. Did you start fat and end up thin, or vice versa?
No, I started fat and ended fat.
Interesting that they actively made the decision not to call it most improved.
Most changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In what direction we won't say.
Yeah, that's a little
Most
too open-ended.
changed since freshman year. Yeah.
Do you know what you changed?
I think it was that in freshman year, I was quieter just because I just wasn't
you
like,
were quiet.
I think I just didn't have as many friends freshman year and I was like
yeah.
slightly more depressed, I think.
I mean,
And
who
then-
did?
Yeah, exactly.
Did
and
you
then,
guys go from like a middle school to a high school that were all in the same town?
Yeah.
So where like you carried over with people? Because I did.
Yeah, a lot of the same people.
Yeah, okay.
There were lots of new people too, but like a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
But then by senior year, I was just like a loud theater kid screaming idiot. So I guess that was the change, is that I was more noticeably obnoxious now.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is tough to be around people when they initially make that transition from being like shy to finding their voice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and they really fucking find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it is that extreme.
They're like using it all
They're
the time.
using it.
And you're like, I did not know you, and I don't know if I like this.
Yeah.
And I mean, I always kind of was like a loud ass fucking kid.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's not like, it's just like in the high school, like wildlife, I guess, like freshman year, I was a lot quieter. I was a lot more like, did you guys like high school overall?
Honestly, it's giving me anxiety.
I know,
Being
yeah.
in this room, small room, talking about high school, because there were moments I loved, but it
Sure.
was just like, I remember being so insecure.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
every fucking movement, I was like aware of like how
Yeah.
people were potentially perceiving me. And it's just exhausting.
Oh, yeah. No, totally. I feel the same way. I was always really, and people even to this day, like I have a lot of anxiety about a lot of things, not as extreme as back then, but they're like, oh, you're so calm, you're so this. I'm like, that's hilarious. Because no, like I overthink tons of things all the time. And in high school, I was always very insecure. And for me, I think, just therapizing myself and figuring out why I am the way that I am.
Don't worry, I'll do that too.
Yeah, I moved so much. Like I never really had a stability. So every school I went to, it's like I had to start over. So once I had friends, I'm like, don't fuck this up. You don't want to be an outcast. You don't want to be, just like not a cool kid. And it's not to say that I went so far out of my way to be mean, but I was lucky I didn't have to. But I know that, just being a clown in general, it's like, oh, I'm doing this for attention, but I'm nervous and I'm like anxious, but it seems like I'm confident about it. And it's really not. Like, I don't know what the hell I was doing half the time. But I had fun in high school, but I was always so anxious.
Like terrified about it, that it was all going to crumble.
Yeah. It's just, I was never comfortable. I was always nervous. And I still, and I think about it now, based on how much I partied in high school, like, and it got like pretty fucked up. I'd take, like I talked about last week, doing like taking Xanax off prescription, but I was just like, this helped me feel comfortable because it was anxiety meds, and
how old were you?
From like 14 to 18,
Wow.
Yeah. And it's like in South Florida, and especially in our school, for some reason, because the kids had money and no supervision, we all just kind of had access to so many things that we shouldn't have so early on.
Xanax and the drinking fountains.
Yeah.
In South Florida.
It was just, I don't know, it was just so easy to get
People
prescriptions.
need supervision. Yeah. At that age.
It was really easy to get prescription drugs, cocaine, ecstasy, acid, all sorts of things from such a young baby age, that it was the norm. Yeah, it was the norm. And like you drink on Xanax, you're really fucked up, and it's like, I'm like 100 pounds and I'm doing these like big, like scary medicines to be calm.
High school is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know that I would have gotten so fucked up if I was comfortable going to parties, But I now that I'm older, I'm like, I fucking hate parties. Like, I'm nervous, but I'll go. But it's like, at least now I'm like, you don't have to drink yourself retarded to get through it. I'm just like, I'll go. I'll like find a couple people that I can talk to, because like that's my comfort zone, was with like a few people, not mass quantities. But like I also had the party house and always had people around. So it's like I was always having to compensate somehow, whether it was, being fucked up or like being the Joker, like we're talking about. So
guys, let's all go watch Euphoria after this.
I watched that, actually.
That's what your high school life is like making me think it is.
No, it was like that. But a little bit more extreme, because I was like, these kids, I was like, no, the most unrealistic thing to me about that was all the girls having sex or just like having multiple orgasms. And I'm like, please. Please.
Yeah,
you didn't even figure that out yourself until you were like 25. So give me a break. They're like, oh, no, get the fuck out of here.
That was
not
what my high school experience was like.
No.
All right. Well, mine is mine's really short and stupid. This one time I got in trouble for being a clown in high school. I thought
you had two, Nick.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
I got a couple. I got plenty of me being a dumb clown. Okay, so it's true that like I felt like you feel anxious and nervous, but like, and this is like such a catch-22, because like being a theater kid in high school is kind of great because you have so many other awful kids around you that like you kind of insulate yourselves into like this little circle where like you're all really supportive.
It's a false sense of feeling so fucking cool, the theater kids.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like doing improv, right? You're like, I'm so funny.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now here's my overall, this is what I think about it overall, and I don't know, this might be mean or whatever. I feel like if you're a theater kid in high school, yeah, like you're in high school, you're terrified, fine. Like you're obnoxious, but you're in high school. Once you're a theater kid in college, then it's like you should know better.
Well, also like as a theater kid, aren't you, because not to say, but it's part of this with like acting, is like you enjoy not being yourself and playing a character, because then also as the character, whatever they do, that's just them. It's not your fault.
Yeah,
right?
It's almost like we do the same thing now, where we do a certain type of entertainment where we just get to do bits entirely when we're not on stage and use that as a personality.
Yeah.
We're
all gonna quit comedy after this.
So when I was
full of shit. No,
this is so stupid. But when I was a senior, I was elected to be the school MC. At sports rallies and stuff.
That's fun.
It was fun. It should have been fun. It was fun, but
so you were quiet to being the MC. That is a big change.
Sure. Yeah. I think I was just
that's a big change.
I think I was just like depressed and didn't know it, and then went to the MC. I think I was just really depressed freshman year, and no one like told me, and I didn't know how to know that about myself.
Yeah.
So on the first, so I like during the pep assemblies and shit, I'm supposed to like talk and get everybody riled up and blah,
Did you
blah,
have
blah, blah,
Did
blah.
you have like a DJ name?
Yeah, it was DJ Paintbrush.
No, it wasn't.
DJ PJ
You're
Paintbrush.
such a bad liar.
Yeah.
DJ PJ.
DJ Paintbrush.
DJ
Nick Balls
DJ Finger Potato.
back on the mic. So no, you didn't.
I didn't. And on the first one, they it's springtime and I am doing it, and I don't know why I looked up trivia about the day. I was like, it's March whatever day, or I don't remember what day it was.
Nerd alert.
Yeah, I was like trying to and then
Still being a bully.
And then that one wasn't accidental. So I don't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something funny, or I just wanted to do not what, because they were like, just introduce this and then introduce that and then do that.
You didn't want to be boring.
I didn't want to be boring. So then I told the entire school, because it turns out that it was Paul Rubens' birthday.
I don't know who that is.
Pee Wee Herman.
Oh.
So I told
How
everyone.
are you going to say Paul Rubin and not Pee Wee Herman?
I wanted to say, because it wasn't Pee Wee Herman's birthday. Everyone knows his birthday is, I don't know.
Yeah.
So then I told everybody in the school that they should go and celebrate Pee Wee Herman's birthday in their own special way. And I told them that if they needed to go to a theater to do it.
Oh, where he masturbated?
I made a public masturbation joke into a microphone of 600 other students.
Oh my god.
And then the vice principal got really he
I don't think that's that crazy.
Yeah,
it's
not.
I didn't think it was that bad, but I wasn't.
What happened when you did that?
I wasn't allowed to be the MC anymore.
Oh,
Oh my
You got banned
God.
from emceeing?
I think I did it once more, another time, but they kind of just
They
didn't
should
really
have
have
given
much
you
of an MC.
warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did what was the crowd's response?
I don't even think they heard.
Explosive laughter.
Explosive laughter from that sick Pee Wee Herman joke that I crafted.
Oh my god.
No, so I didn't really I did it they needed someone to do it one other time, but they gave me a script to do it. They were read that, so I wasn't allowed to. Yeah, I got in trouble.
So you didn't go full Howard Stern and just do it anyway. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dude, I didn't Baba
That's
Booey
not
it
that
next
bad.
time. No.
I can't believe though that you got banned. I mean, I guess I could, but
Yeah, I could.
I don't know.
I could believe it.
What's
still
the other
believe it.
one you were gonna say? Because I want you to feel more pain than that.
Oh God, I used to draw these comics of me and my friends in high school, and they were really, really, really gross and disgusting. Just everyone, it was 15-year-old calling everybody gay, and everybody was R word, and everyone was F-E, you know what I mean? It just, and then I was showing them to my friends because we all thought they were the funniest things in the world, and then someone showed it to someone else, and I was like, yeah, it's hilarious, show it to them, and then they read it, and their face just went blank, and it was just this isn't funny.
Oh, and that was back
And
when
that
the R
was-
word was hilarious.
It wasn't
to
just the
everybody.
R word, it was all of it.
Did you do an
I
N-word
I went
cartoon?
no, didn't do that. Just, we called everybody faggy, you know?
Oh yeah.
That was the thing back in 2002.
In Chicago, too, right?
It was in Chicago, the suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah, yeah.
Same thing.
I still feel like you're
Oh,
holding
God.
back here, Nick.
No, that's mostly it. My whole life has been an embarrassing mess of clown-related activity.
Yeah. Pee Wee Herman joke, dude.
Got in trouble. That was a big one.
Did you do a jerk off hand motion?
No. But I'll say yes to make you happier.
No,
With my story. Yes, I jerked off all over
No, I
the
just
place.
like it. Last week, I was like, Nick, you didn't feel bad enough about that. What did you do? Spit it out, And then he starts collapsing in on himself. I'm like, here it comes.
No, that was really it. That was mostly it. I mean, I definitely was mean a bunch of times accidentally, kind of making fun. But
I think you'll come up with some little inserts too.
Sure.
For when we're talking about
I'll
stuff.
insert it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think that being banned from emceeing is a pretty good hard way lesson not to be such a clown. Especially
guess not.
because I don't know.
I know.
That
The desire to be funny, right?
Yeah.
It's a
that
risk.
was it, you know?
Yeah,
it was,
it's being funny. It's a risk you make.
Yeah.
Even today, I was sending a business email, and I was it's just this impulse that certain people have that others don't have to contend with. Where I was oh, I could make a joke here.
yeah.
And it
I'm
would probably be
why
pretty
do I
funny.
need to be
Yeah.
funny?
Yeah.
Why do I need to be funny? she's like trying to get my sizes for a fitting. Like, I don't need to be a fucking goofball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I need to just respond with the fucking information, like,
and
a cup. You know, you don't need to, like, crack jokes, you know?
No, but I totally get that. Like, even just ending an email where it's just like, thank you, looking forward to hearing from you. You know, it's like you want to, like, leave them with a zinger. You know?
Yeah, right? A little bit of personal pizzazz.
Yeah.
It's actually a conscious thought I had on my way over here, because I, like, lied about my cup size on my, like, thing. I was like, oh, you know, I'm not that cup size. I never have been. I guess I was lying. And then it was like, haha. And I'm like, okay, it's not funny.
I guess
And
I'm
it just
a liar.
makes me look weird. Like, it's unprofessional to lie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's unprofessional.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, moving forward.
That probably made you want to crack more of jokes.
Yeah, because you were kind of busted.
Yeah, I'm like, moving forward, it's just like slow and steady.
Yeah.
You don't need to come right out of the gate cracking weird ass jokes. The person hasn't even had contact with me.
Yeah, they can't hear your delivery.
They don't know me.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck. They want information so they can do their job. They're not looking for a buddy.
Yeah.
So that's
at my job. I've sent like nothing like, but like I'll do the thing where I'm like, oh, that's a funny little aside, a little comma,
you don't need
jokey,
the asides.
joke,
Right.
And we go for them.
And I've done it where like I've gotten a response back where the person's like, ha ha, exclamation point. I totally agree. Da 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 da. But then I've gotten the other ones where they just write back, hi Nick. Yes, Thursday at 3:30 will work. Please send the invite.
What a
and then it's just like that. And I'm total shutdown. She shut me down. And
dude, or they don't even acknowledge it. They're like, this fucking person.
Yep. Didn't even acknowledge it. Which I deserve
It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, it's a roll of the dice.
I mean, on one hand, it's like, you know, I feel like you do have to be polarizing and really like commit to who you are. But also I'm like, or you could just
kind of
be normal.
Yeah, you could just be normal.
Try to be
And in but it's hard to turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Right?
It's really hard to know.
It's hard.
The lines get blurred really easily when you try to not do it certain times, but other times it's okay.
1 minute you spend your whole day like mentally training yourself how to be funny, to be good on stage.
Yeah.
And then you get on stage and it's like you're rewarded and it's this fun thing. And then you get off and you're like, this is what people like from me.
Yeah.
Like, whether consciously or not, that's, you know, you train yourself into thinking like, this is my social currency to matter.
Right.
And so you try to fucking put it everywhere.
No, totally.
Well,
you think that's how I
it's
matter
just so
most.
instinctual and innate to who you are to be that way, that it's that whole thing of when you're sort of just talking to somebody and this is your cadence and this is the way you do it and you're a humorous person and that's what you're used to, but then you're talking to somebody who either doesn't get your sense of humor and you say something that maybe isn't a joke, but it's kind of a little aside that should have gotten a response, and then they don't. It's like, you know, they don't get me. They don't whatever.
Or it's like you write them off completely, as like being a dipshit.
But people, or people that you're just talking to, and then maybe for sure, just by mistake, you might get a joke out of it because you're thinking, oh, I just said something that is funny. Maybe I could use that. But then they say, oh, is this a bit? Like, I've had so many times people just like, I'm just talking to them.
People call you
and be like, is this a bit?
I've had that happen
It's
before.
always the worst people that do that. I'm like, no, it's not. But I forget what it was. But I was talking to this dude that, funnily enough, he always is trying to make jokes and then also always says, I'm so not funny. People tell me that all the time. So I'm like, well, then why are you trying to be funny? But so I was just talking to him about something and I kind of made like a little like comment, you know, that just something that just comes out easily. And he's like, oh, is this one of your bits? And I just immediately felt like, oh, tone it down. You know, you're clearly talking too excitedly.
No,
that
guy
it seems like you're on stage right now.
Well, I mean, he seems like, you know, insignificant, so it's like no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
But like,
you've never been called out on that before?
I always just get like, men always like kind of needle me, like, oh, you think you're funny? Let's, you know. And I'm like, I want to fucking murder you.
Yeah.
I think sometimes that's one thing, like, men misinterpret like me being sort of like aggressive as like, oh, this is her fun persona.
Yeah.
It's like, no, inside, I have like death wishes for you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't a persona.
This is protecting your life right now.
Yeah.
By
like,
me
shut
just...
the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
Men misinterpreting a woman's comedy. What?
Yeah, that never happens.
That's the worst. Mary Elaine, what about you? Can you tell us about a time that you clowned it up in high school?
Well, yeah, this conversation is the perfect tee up. So
Great.
I actually, well, I'm going to show a photo at some point.
Yeah.
But so I went to boarding school.
Ooh.
So,
was it because you made so many jokes? They thought, get rid of this kid.
We gotta send her away to a humorless school.
Exhausting.
I honestly don't know what it was. It certainly wasn't that I was so gifted I needed to be like, and I also was like lame. Like I drank so heavily in college, like a fucking winner. But
that I know.
In high school, I was so fucking losery. I was so losery. My freshman year, I was such a nerd. I was so insecure. I was so awkward looking. I didn't have any friends for a minute, like for a while.
Freshman year, man, that shit's hard.
Yeah, I know. And when I say nerd too, I don't mean like Jeff Bezos. I'm so intellectual. I can't like.
I'm busy building machines.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that.
I don't need a social life.
I was like just mediocre grades and fucking
like,
losery.
Like fucking weird. Like smelled like peanut butter all the time.
Combo. Not a good combo.
You know somebody like that?
Everybody knows the peanut butter kid.
I think I have peanut butter in my backpack.
It was you.
Yeah, and I wore a backpack. It's like I'm
like
trying
all
to be
day.
high school.
And
backpacks are my new thing.
Up.
I fucking love it. I do think it makes me nostalgic for like
the JanSport that you used to write on the bottom.
Yeah.
Love a JanSport. Love a rose art binder.
Rose art? Mm-hmm. Oh, I had the Lisa
Or like
Franks.
Lisa Frank. Those
Lisa
are good.
Franks. Well, that's elementary school.
I had 5-star.
Too far back.
Ooh.
Or like CVS brand, depending on how generous my mom was feeling.
Nice.
So how big is the boarding school? Like how many
tiny.
students are in there?
Tiny.
And was it all
Like-
girls?
Like 300.
For the
no,
whole
it was
school?
co-ed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty small.
It was tiny. And so I was in, and I was fine. Like I did make friends, but initially when I got there, I just felt so lost. And a lot of the girls that were, when I was a freshman, that were on my floor, the other freshman girls, I got put in like the really popular dorm, like by chance. Like all the seniors who lived there, they could choose who they lived with. And it was just like all the fucking really beautiful like blonde chicks from like Greenwich and like shit like that. Like the really like waspy boarding school.
There's something wrong with this. This sounds like a TV show of, kind of like what is not Gilmore
Gossip Girl?
Gossip Girl, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like the fact that there's
honestly,
a popular dorm is already setting everybody up to fail.
It
Like
is
you're
a
in
bit.
group E, like you're a loser because they get to control the social hierarchy.
Yeah, it was a bit CWE. And then the other freshmen too in my dorm, like, were also kind of hot shit. Like, all the senior dudes had taken note of, like, the other freshman girls, been like, they're hot. And so the senior girls hated them. And they didn't give a shit. They didn't know my fucking name because, like, no senior guys were, like, popping up at my window.
Rats.
I know. Actually,
what
rats.
a bummer.
I was, like, wishing for it. And so, yeah, I was just, like, kind of floating. And then there was this one English teacher who was so fucking pretentious and obnoxious. And I learned that I could do an amazing impersonation of her.
Was she older or younger?
Well, I was for a second I thought, was she older than me at this point? I was like,
she was a baby.
Yeah,
she was the smartest teacher ever.
Yeah.
It was so annoying.
I was like,
always had boogers in her nose.
Yeah.
Gross. Yeah.
She was, at the time, of course, she seemed ancient.
Okay.
But I'm sure she was actually kind of young. You know what I mean? You know
like
how
30, 40.
When you're in high school, you think like a 25-year-old is fucking
like
50.
50.
Yeah, that's true.
So I bet she was probably, honestly, like late 30s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, I learned I could do an impersonation of her, and it spread around that fucking campus like wildfire. Like the senior girls would have me come up, and then they'd all be there, and they'd be like, "Would you do it?" And I would fucking do it.
Yeah. How could
and
you not?
the routine became so sophisticated. Like, I was having people ask me questions. I was like, it really became like a great performance. And I was even having like other faculty members like in bushes being like, hey. Like,
oh my God.
Everyone was like,
and that's your identity too now.
It literally became my whole identity, and I was so fine with it because everyone knew who I was.
Oh yeah.
And everyone was like the senior girls would introduce me to their boyfriends and be like, this is Mary Elaine. She's so funny. Like she does. And I was like, I was lost in this vortex of like, I will do anything to keep this going.
Yeah.
It was fully lost on me how fucking mean it was.
Oh, God.
And I have a photo of me in costume.
Oh, my God, you did.
You dressed up like her?
Up.
Oh, my God.
And she had a gap in between her teeth that I would paint. And her lip was like that.
This is so intricate.
Yeah.
You held this up there. You can see it. Ooh, look at this.
And I mean, like, that's how I looked, P.S. Like, aside
this
from
person does not look like they have a happy life if they look like that. It's like Eileen Wuornos from Monster, dude. But with a big old gap in her teeth.
Oh, you drew the gap. That's the meanest part.
I know.
Oh, God.
I know.
Well, so I was going to ask how the teacher looked, but the fact that you have...
I have an idea now.
Well, she had, like, really short black hair, so that was my attempt at, like, making my hair look short.
And you look nothing like you in that picture.
I know.
Either.
Well, I was like,
really
big old goon.
Was that Halloween, or are you just like, you know what? They give the people what they want.
No.
I'm going to show
If the senior fucking girls asked me to impersonate the teacher, I would rush into my room. I don't care what fucking exam I had. And I was going into hair and makeup.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's so
Can you
so
do
funny
the
and sad.
impression?
Yeah, obviously.
I was thinking that I kind of forget, but it was very much like... And she'd be like, and I would have people be like, someone would be like, are you good at squash? And I'd be like, well, I was number 1 on the ladder at Princeton, and we were 3 in the nation, so you do the math.
Oh my God.
I'm like not doing it. It wasn't that. I forget. I'm out of practice.
No, I like it because it seems like it's like 70% lip.
Yeah, I like that your lip like reaches for your nose when you're doing it.
And it was a lot of like tuning in onto the obnoxious thing she would say that was like, I think I just like captured how like self-glorifying she was.
So this teacher, was she a bad teacher? Like, did she
was
suck,
just, like,
or was she
fucking
just
annoying? But she was like lonely.
Yeah,
you know?
but that's why she was always talking about herself, trying to show that she's worthy.
And I was preying on that.
Yeah,
I was preying on that.
To be fair, you were being preyed on too.
Yeah. Well,
I know, and it does get back to like,
I
don't know, man. I don't know. Teens are fucking mean. Like,
They're
even
so mean.
now, nothing, like, I could be, like, you know how you, every now and then you, like, end up at some Hollywood part. I'm not trying to act like this is my life, but, like, living in LA, if you're, like, at some place and all of a sudden there's, like, celebrities at this party and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
That makes me so much less insecure than like being on Fairfax and like walking past a cool looking throng of teens.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what are they?
They're so mean.
They're so mean, and
They're
they go for
super
the
mean.
jugular.
Yeah.
They attack
go
your
for the
character, your
jugular.
inner core. Yeah.
They somehow know.
Sniff out, they will fucking. It's
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And they're
they
already
terrify
mean
me.
from through elementary school, middle school, high school. They're so mean, and it just gets, I think, worse when you're in high school because you're kind of changing and you look weird. Like, you get real ugly in middle school, and then high school, some people start to develop sooner, and you're like, how are these beautiful women walking around? They're women, and if you're not like that, you're all of a sudden this freak show, and you're hormonal now, and you're just trying to survive.
It's the worst, and there's a lot of pressure to like get into a good college.
Oh, yeah.
There's just like a lot of pressure of like, this is the foundation of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like,
Better make a decision when you
feels-
know nothing. Yeah.
it feels way more important than it is,
Yeah.
and you are not in a mental state to be doing anything that should define who you are for the rest of your life.
Right.
That's the thing is
exactly.
they put a lot of pressure on you to be like, well, like if you fuck up year 16, then years 19 through 30 are going
Right.
to suck.
Right.
Like now I'm at the point where I'm like, well, if I fuck up year 31, like that's okay. 32, I'll try that again. Like we're better equipped at it
They
now,
make
you
it
know?
so daunting.
They make it very daunting. And yeah, you're just like, you're so and like you're better at being mean now, you know? Like high schoolers are like, they know how to be mean and they haven't learned like all the empathy yet, sort of. So it's just like, they can just
again,
like
the
shoot it
meanest
out
ones
at
are
you.
the most in pain. Like they're just trying to survive. I think about that, and I don't like how it feels when something I did or said makes somebody feel really bad.
No.
So I don't.
it's the
I
worst.
actively, because I mean, you can do that by mistake. You know, you think that you're not even saying anything wrong, and I've had situations like this, and it's not everybody gets your sense of humor or your little jokes or whatever, and so unintentionally you can hurt people. So the whole thing about people going out of their way to do it is just crazy to me.
Did your teacher find out?
She found out.
Oh, there's no way she didn't.
Yeah,
find
how did
out.
you have to retire the?
Yeah, what?
And what did
Honestly, I don't think I did retire. Like, it really was a crutch for me.
And so you did that through. So when did you go to the boarding school?
My freshman year.
And you stayed there the whole.
Yeah.
And so that whole time
I was doing it. I mean, you know, the novelty wore off.
Sure. Yeah.
like I had to come up with,
Like,
I had to
You're
write some
still
new
just
material.
running around wearing the shirt and
novelty
pants.
wore off, but I'm not tooting my own horn for a minute. It was so fucking hot.
Yeah.
It was the hottest act in town. Like,
Hottest act in town.
like sold out shows.
rooms every night.
No,
Yeah.
literally. Like, I mean,
The fact that you
it
had
put me on the map.
Yeah.
It was
you had
like
to run in
my.
and put on this outfit. I just thought it was an impression. The outfit
No,
with the makeup.
No, it was a whole performance.
And
yeah.
so how did she figure it out? And then what happened because of that?
Did she like have to talk to you?
I forget the exact moment, but it was more just like she approached, and she was like the bigger person.
Well, she should have been.
Yeah.
She's an adult.
Yeah.
I know, but you know,
Yeah.
a lot of adults.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think she was just like said something like really poignant to let me know like I'm a dipshit.
Yeah.
And like, I think she was just like, I really hope you enjoy like something, you know.
Yeah. Ooh, that's
I
so
really hope
bigger.
it was worth it.
And honestly, like in my head, I'm like, it was. To the like,
She made you a star.
it doesn't last.
Yeah, it doesn't last. You had
That
to write
one-
new material.
It
You had
was
to
like
come up with some
my
other-
Jennifer Lawrence Hunger Games.
Yeah.
That was
That was your
my-
winter's bone.
Yeah, that was my winter's bone.
So were you like known as the funny girl after that?
I mean, yeah, it sort of did establish me, but I also never really was like Miss Thing in high school. Like nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
You know, that impersonation was amazing, and in the moment, like like they would like me if I was doing the fucking impersonation. Not to say that it was like I had zero friends.
Yeah,
like,
no. But like your currency was kind of.
Well,
like,
that's also the
tied
thing.
to
It's like
that.
when you're running out of the actual act while you're doing it, how does that end? And then it's like, okay, Mary Elaine, we're going to get some burgers. You coming with, or you just go
Yeah.
back to your room and fucking wait for the next call?
Right.
That's so fucked up. Like that must be anxiety inducing in itself. Like, oh, they're getting bored with it now. You
Well,
know?
it's just like that, you know, in high school, I think everyone very much does have their currency. There's like the hot crew. There's even, and this is so weird, but in high school, it's like the rich kids, like the super smart or athletes, whatever, really artistic kids. And it's like, I was in an insecure place where I was like, the only time I truly felt like I mattered, especially more freshman year, it's not like this was all 4 years, was when I was doing that impersonation. That's when I was like, I'm one of the greats. Like, you know, like,
I fit in here.
yeah,
I'm supposed to
not
be
only do
here.
I fit in, but I'm like top dog in that moment.
Yeah.
And then it very quickly became, as I'm literally with this thing. But yeah, if I wasn't doing that, it was like I felt nervous.
Yeah, well, also just thinking as a freshman, having senior girls be calling you out and saying, "Here, this is my boyfriend. She's really funny." Like
that's huge.
You don't want to lose that.
You don't want to lose that.
Did you ever have you doing it and have her sort of walk in and catch you? Because to me, that would be gut wrenching to have her see and realize it was her that she was being made fun of, and just seeing, oh, I'm a joke here. Like she didn't realize she's a joke until that.
She never saw me doing it, but there, like that picture someone took. And when it was your birthday, like people hang up your photo all around campus. That was one of the photos. So like,
oh my God.
It mattered to me in that time that she didn't find out. But again, not enough.
Not that much.
Not enough.
It's not as though you liked her. She was obnoxious.
Yeah, she was obnoxious.
But you're too young to realize she's obnoxious because she's trying to have some worth by talking about herself all the time. Yeah.
When you're young, you just think adults are like a different species, sort of. Like you think some people are born young and some people are born old.
Yeah.
And like she was in camp old.
Yeah.
Which now it's like, now she'd be like a contemporary, but and you just think like have your shit figured out.
Yeah,
there's like at some point
they don't.
You don't get to be lame because you're an adult camp.
Yeah,
but it's like, of course, now that I am an adult, I'm like, oh, I can't have people being too critical because I'm now I'm in the glass house and I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
But when you're in a teen, you're just fucking checking stones.
No, like they must have it together. I can rip on them because fuck it. Like they know they made their bed at this point. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And again, you're just so terrified. You just want to get through it. You know, I could totally
Sometimes you do hurtful impersonations. Sometimes you tell great Pee Wee Herman jokes, you know?
But I mean, by the way, that debate is still a thing, you know, in all our lives probably. Like at some point you have to pick sensitivity or the joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Oftentimes, I mean, you know, unless you're fucking Jim Gaffigan, who's like universally appealing and incredibly unoffensive.
Right.
That's not my case. That's not my, I don't think of like 20 minutes on making bacon funny.
Yeah, no.
I don't.
Yeah, because that's also, not to say that it's easy, but it's a little easier because you're mocking a thing. So you don't have to worry about, you know, the bacon industry being offended that you're, you know, hating on that. But when it comes to jokes of when you're always ragging on other people, and I think this is an issue where, because I believe anything can be funny if you write a good joke, but I think lots of people are like, oh, everyone's too sensitive. It's like, no, you just didn't write a good joke.
Suck at
and you're not
jokes.
fucking funny enough. But
I know. But that is the thing a lot of the time.
But there is something about ragging on one group or ragging on everybody else and then never yourself. I think if you're going to be controversial and like making fun of people and hitting them where it hurts, you need to be able to also do that to yourself and say, hey, none of us are immune to being called out for our bullshit, because everybody's got bullshit that, you know, you can make fun of. But it is tough. You have to make that choice and say, you know, realize if you make an abortion joke, you might have a woman in the audience that just had one. I know. And even though she came to laugh.
I know, there's always one person in the audience.
I find it harder to do it in like my regular everyday life, just talking with people, than I usually do like on stage, you know, like having how much jokey do I put into every conversation, you know, like before, not even that it's like controversial jokes, just like the balance, you know, like how much can I keep trying to be like this until like I'm actually just being kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And it is sort of like when you decide like you're in a jokey, fun mood and you do sort of commandeer the social interaction. And there's like, there is a selfishness to that. Yeah. But it's weird because when you're doing it, you're operating from a place of, I want to bring happiness.
You think you're doing it for the right reasons. But there's
also a layer of like, and let's make me numero.
Right.
It's a double
the self-awareness to say, is this person enjoying this, or are they kind of waiting for you to finish so they can talk? You know what I mean? Which I rarely have that. Because I definitely have a self-awareness about myself where if I start being excited and in a mood like that, and then I notice it's just not happening, I scale it back.
Fucking read a room.
But it is hard. Yeah, read the room. But it is hard when I'm so used to being that person that's always the one talking or the life of the party sort of person, it's tough to say, okay, well, now what do I do when I'm just like sitting here waiting to just have like real conversations? Don't insert that joke there. That's not important. Just because they told you something and then you thought, oh, I have something about that, doesn't mean you have to say it,
And, not every social interaction is an interview. Like, the job is not to go in and wow them.
Yeah.
But I think comics make it that.
Yeah.
We think we have this, like,
thing.
It has to be now, sort of, like, we got to do it at this point.
You enter the scene, it's your line.
It's
your
not,
time
it never feels enough for me to be at the baseline and just be pleasant.
Yeah.
If I'm doing that, I feel I've lost the moment.
Yeah. I lost the room. It's like, Mary Elaine, this is just dinner.
Yeah, it's like...
I know, right?
Yeah.
We're just having a couple drinks.
Yeah, we already like you. That's why you're here. You don't have to prove it. Yeah.
I had an ex-girlfriend who, when I first started doing comedy, I had my girlfriend at the time, like, if I did a show and it went well, like, she said, like, I don't like hanging out with you after you do a comedy show because, like, I was, like, kind of new at it. And, like, I've calmed down since then, but, like...
But you're on a high.
But I was on a high, and I just, like, would just be so excited and just, like, bits here, jokes here, everything's ha, 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 ha. And then, like, after a show and, like, we're just, like, all drinking more, too.
Yeah.
And, like, she sat down and, like, told me, like, yeah, you were kind of, like, being a jerk at points last night. And then I heard it,
So then,
that's all you can do.
Yeah, and it was, like, better from then on out. But, like, I knew, like, the second she said it, I, like, knew exactly what she was talking about. I didn't, like, it wasn't to the front of my head yet, but, like, once she started saying it, I was like, I know she's fucking right. Like, I'm embarrassed, but, like, I know she's fucking
But you're also
accurate.
thinking, while you're doing it, maybe you even realize a little bit, you're thinking, how far can I push this? Because I'm enjoying it,
Yeah, at the time, I just want to do as many fucking jokes and bits as possible.
Yeah, but there is that sort of after show high thing where and then forget about it if you're drinking. You're just a dick. Not
Then
you specifically.
No, but yeah. Jess, how about you? How about you
man.
being a clown?
I was always such a clown.
Yeah,
okay.
I
So
bet.
like I said, when I went to high school, I always moved a lot growing up. So high school, except for my brother being a year older than me, he was there, but we weren't really close then. We became closer later, but I didn't really know anybody at that school. It's not like it carried over from middle school, and we didn't even go to the same middle school, me and my brother. So it was just kind of strange to say, okay, here I'm starting over. I'm going to this private school with all these kids. Maybe I've heard of like other kids through other people that were friends with other people that are cool kids that I know that are going to be there, whatever. I just remember going into it very isolated and like, I don't know what I'm going to be dealing with here. This is high school. It's a whole different ball game.
This is freshman year?
Yeah. And my brother, because he was already there and he's got a weird name, Hiddo. I was always Hiddo's sister, I didn't have my own name for a while.
Why would you need
Was
one?
that his birth given name?
Yeah.
How do you
That's my
spell
dad's name and his dad's name. It's a family name.
How do you spell it?
Hiddo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Dutch name. So yeah, because my dad's not American. So
Yeah.
I don't know where they came up with that, but I guess it's a Dutch name.
And then you're Jessica.
And I'm the most boring,
the whitest
easiest,
girl name. Yeah.
The most basic name with the weirdest name. So it's this is Hiddo's sister. This is Hiddo's sister. So I already don't really have an identity coming into this place.
They should have named you Hidda.
Oh my God, could you imagine? But yeah, so for him, everybody knew who he was because he had this weird ass name, And
That's enough in high school, like to get you going. Like,
Yeah,
you got a weird
know.
name and you seem kind of cool. Like,
yeah.
there,
Well,
weird name guy.
Hiddo was very, opposite of me in the sense that he was quiet and sort of, but he still always had a group of friends, but he, was kind of a little bit of a pothead and so like, I think maybe his thing, and I don't know if this is true, but he'd be like, oh, I'm the one that has, some weed maybe. That's what makes you important. How people become drug dealers. So like, then I have friends because I'm a drug dealer. And so for me, I mean, I was always I loved when people said that I was funny or when people laughed when I was talking. I was always kind of, like that. And maybe not so much as a kid, because as a kid I was kind of I'm still an introvert and was I draw, I was quiet, but in high school was really when I started acting out kind of like a clown versus sitting back and being the introvert person, And I just remember because I was already talking about how just everybody's kind of fucked up and does a lot of partying and all that, but I think like my clowningness hurt me in the way that I always stood out as if there's a group of kids in trouble and I'm there, then I must be in charge and I'm the one running this thing. So I'll be the one called out. And when everybody's scattering, Jessica, you better stay right there. And I'm the one getting in trouble, you know?
You were the gang leader of like these
even if I wasn't,
14-year-olds?
like because I was always acting out, I was always the first one to be called up when something went wrong in school.
Sense.
Yeah. So like I would do all sorts of things. I'd get kicked out of class for, because I remember I always had really good grades despite really not paying attention that much. And I remember we had one year, Mr. Anderson was like the wrestling coach, and I guess we didn't have enough teachers, so he was teaching us chemistry.
Oh my God.
And I remember
Makes sense.
him like doing a formula, and I was like, that's wrong. You know, that's actually not what it is. And he was like, get the fuck out. You know, kicking me out for that. I wasn't like, my shirt wasn't tucked in. We had the dean of discipline and like the dean of academia or whatever. And so it was like, if you were in trouble with your grades, you'd be dealing with Mr. Ott, okay, which I never really dealt with. If you were in trouble with discipline, you were dealing with Mr. Mahan. And that's who I was always dealing with.
Mr.
You know, he was just like driving around his little golf cart.
What?
You know, and he was
That's the most Florida thing I've ever
like
heard.
he was like a tall, bald guy that was known for hooking up with, because he was also a teacher.
Oh, no.
And he taught ethics, which is hilarious. And he was known for hooking up with a student and eventually marrying her.
Stop.
Yeah,
I was really hoping you made us wait. I was like,
know.
please say
I was
other
hoping
teachers.
it
Please
was-
say
I
other
know.
teachers.
No, but he was
or
an-
like parents.
But he was
Yeah.
an ethics teacher, which is kind of funny. But like, I
People are
guess,
losers.
but I don't
That guy
know. I don't know.
sucks.
He ended up marrying her, but that was like the thing that went around, you know. And but he's just like this tall, lanky, kind of like buck teeth, weird teeth, red, shiny, bald guy driving around with like a chip on his shoulder, just like messing with kids, you know. And I'm again 14, 15 years old, probably when I'm at my worst.
Yeah.
And you know, my shirt's not tucked in all the way, or I'm wearing a like a fleece, because we weren't allowed to have logos, right? So maybe it had like a tiny little Nike logo, and so I'd get sent to detention. So I was in detention like every day for some bullshit. So I always took it. I was like, well, if I can't do anything right, I might as well take it up a
Yeah,
notch.
just
you know?
do every single thing wrong.
Yeah, so I'd be, you know, smoking cigarettes at school. I remember moving, you know, I'd see his golf cart and he'd be away from it for a second. So I'd take it and I'd move it somewhere else. And then I just watch him walking around trying to find it.
That's objectively funny.
And he'd be like,
that is funny no
Mulder,
matter what.
what'd you do with my golf cart? I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't touch it. You know, I didn't touch it. Just little things like that, just always being in trouble for just being a spaz and causing all these issues. And I remember, in religion classes, we had a class, and our religion teacher was such a lunatic.
This was like a private Catholic school.
Yeah, it was a private
said, right?
Catholic school. And Miss Valvano was well known to be just like they're teaching us Catholicism, but they did teach us a little bit about other religions too. But she was always saying that God refilled her shampoo bottle for like a year, so she didn't have to get any more.
Oh my God.
That's in the Bible.
Yeah, and that
God shall cleaneth your
and
hair.
that
Fuck?
there's no dogs or when Jesus comes back to take us to like heaven in the new world, right?
Yeah,
there will
soon.
be no dogs there, and there will be no oceans, just lakes. What is that? Like, it's the weirdest shit. So I remember asking her, you know, I was just kind of, you know, I never took it seriously. I was always the one that during mass, I would move my legs and everybody would go past when they went to get their communion, because I just didn't do it. And so they were always mad at me for that, saying like, you always have to be acting up. You always have to be saying something. And I remember asking her when she was talking about her, you know, religious things, forget about her shampoo, but just, you know, I'm asking her questions about why don't we ever read about dinosaurs? Why don't we ever see about this? And she couldn't really have an answer. So it would just be like, get out, you know, get out of the class. Mm-hmm. And I was constantly being told, because of my behavior, that I was going to hell. One, because I wasn't baptized. And two, because I just, you know, this isn't how you act. And I remember specifically the dean of discipline telling me down to, because remember we were just talking about before about you're set with this daunting task of setting up your life before you're even 18. So, you know, I'm 17.
Let alone them claiming you're going to be bound to eternal damnation.
Yeah, right?
Exactly. But
That's way too fucking intense a notion to put on a teen.
Right. And I remember coming into the office, I'd get called in the office a lot. And I'll tell you like the main example of just that ties into, because I was always the one being called out, is I remember one time, because they brought drug dogs to school sometimes, and they would search your cars and stuff. And I remember, it was
so intense.
It was
they
great.
did that a couple times.
And so they'd come over the loudspeaker and say, oh, you're on lockdown. Everybody's not allowed to leave the room. So they'd be on lockdown. They'd bring the drug dogs in, and I remember I didn't have any drugs on me, but my dumbass friend must have had something, and he was sitting next to me, or he threw it near me, which is the same person that got me arrested years later. Fucking
not
fuckers.
A good friend.
No, not. But anyway, he the dog sat down next to me, and that's how they would do it. They would smell you, and if they sat down, it meant that you had something on you. So the dog smelled near me and sat down next to me, of course, because the dean is in there with us, and he's like, go over there, like pointing the dogs at me to smell me.
Yeah, you were
to catch me. And so it's like, did they make the dog sit? Who the hell knows? The point is, he ends up bringing me into the office because the dog smelled me, and they're searching all my stuff, and I don't have anything on me at all. But he still says, I don't believe that you didn't have something and that you must have gotten rid of it. So you have a minute to clean up. If you are on something, you're going to get drug tested now randomly, right? So, but I also remember in that conversation, I was like, first of all, how the hell did I end up? I have excellent grades, but I'm kind of an asshole, and I'm a clown. I'm moving your golf cart. I'm, acting. I'm like asking teachers questions I shouldn't, telling them, like, making jokes about how they don't know how to do their job, whatever, getting kicked out. So I'm always wandering around when I'm supposed to be in class. That gets you detention, but it's like, well, they kicked me out, So, but I don't have anything on me yet. Now I'm getting drug tested, and I specifically remember him telling me, we have a sort of way that we are in this school. We have a sort of identity we're trying to uphold. Maybe you don't really belong here. Maybe you'd be better somewhere else.
Whoa.
I remember him telling me that. And I remember feeling very much, just attacked by it. Like, I'm like, I get it. I'm a little shit. I'm a pain in the ass. I'm acting out in class, being kind of a clown, but I'm not, I'm here for school and my grades are good. Why are you blasting me for some bullshit, and it's just, there was definitely just a sort of identity they were trying to have, and that wasn't it. Like, kids were supposed to be in line, but again, Catholic school, yeah.
It's weird when you come face to face with someone who demands obedience to such a crazy degree, especially because, like, that's not something I crave from other people. I don't have any sense of, like, well, I told you to do this.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm doing me.
Yeah.
You're doing you. And so when you do come up to those people that fixate on, like, small rules of behavior that to me feel somewhat inconsequential, I'm like, am I doing a good job, and am I not hurting anyone?
Right. But that
otherwise, leave me alone.
Right. But that was the whole thing, is that there was so little logic in why I was always in trouble that, and luckily I did have other teachers that liked me and didn't mind,
Like, stood up for you.
Yeah, but the fact that this person that's in charge of possibly kicking me out of school is going out of his way so much to catch me, because he can't get me on the academic part. Maybe he can get me on my shirt, not being tucked in all the way or whatever. But as a teenager, I'm like, you already hate me. Whatever I do, I'm going to get in trouble anyway. What difference does it make?
Yeah.
I might as well just act out and have a good time at it.
Well, yeah, what else are you supposed to do at that point? Because it's not like, as an adult, if, like, you meet someone or you have a coworker and it's like, you're adults, like, oh, you don't like each other. But, like, then you either don't go around that person, or you're an adult and you, like, work it out or something.
Yeah.
But if it's a teacher who's out to get you, like, you have no other choice but to, like, because you're powerless in that situation.
And just the fact that it's really that you're getting off on getting me in trouble. Like, the fact that
it's a lack of control somewhere else in his life that he's, like, compensating for, like he's got something fucked up.
He hated me.
You have to evaluate yourself, though. Like, if you're a grown man and you find yourself fixating on the state of a girl's t-shirt, like,
And
have
granted,
a deep
and
look
granted
inside.
they were,
that's weird.
But granted, they were strict Catholic high school rules. But it's also, dude, you ended up marrying one of your students.
Yeah,
and yet you're blasting me about this. Like, that's crazy.
Ew.
Yeah.
Well, he's gross.
He's gross. But the funny thing about him,
how old was? What was the age difference?
I feel like it was about 10 years or so.
Did they start?
Oh my God! Wait. So he was like 26.
Yeah, and then
what a loser!
Yeah. Oh, this is a loser.
What a
guy.
fucking loser!
What
Honestly,
a fucking jerk.
I would have been less creeped out if he was like 45.
45. Wait,
Yeah, because
Ew, what fucking 26-year-old, like, go get an actual life?
I know.
was she
Well, he
in
didn't
school
have one,
when
obviously.
they started dating?
Yeah, I think it was like senior year, so maybe she was on the cusp of turning 18 or something. I don't know for sure because again,
I was
it's high
hoping maybe
school.
like they like ran into each other at like a TJ Maxx
Well,
a couple of years
this also wasn't happening in real time while I was there. It wasn't somebody I knew. It was known that because when he was messing with me, he was way older. He was probably, almost 50. So at this point, or 40.
Oh, so he was already married.
Yeah,
to this
so
woman.
at that point she was
he was
already
still ew.
Yeah, but like it was well known
I think
that
the school should have removed him.
Yeah,
but
I do
back
too.
when
That's really weird.
but back when it was
See, this is the problem I have with institutions like that. It's like, why are we fixating on a 14-year-old's shirt not being tucked in? And yet
Or asking questions
you are
about-
allowing a man to remain on the faculty who is carrying on an affair with a student.
He's like
Yeah.
the dean of the faculty.
Yeah, well, he wasn't then though. He was just
So
a teacher then,
what?
but still.
That he needs to be like, if we're
Yeah.
gonna pick and choose what
Right.
to fixate on.
But that's a whole thing.
Now, Jess, I do agree that, acting out and kind of being a clown in that way is not, but damn, your school fucking sucked.
Yeah. But you know what was also messed up about it is that because I was like class clowny, but also I was, my friends were stoners, which is why they ended up.
they
And I had
singled you
I
out.
was cool with a lot of different groups, but the one that was the one they wanted to fix in on was the stoner kids. They also had a weird way of letting things slide if you were in sports or if you were a
Of
dude that they
course.
just liked,
Of
It's like
course.
Yeah.
freaking what's his name? Tyler Mulkey, dude, could get away with anything because
Fucking
Mr.
Tyler.
Ott loved Tyler Mulkey. And it's like this kid was a little shit too, But yeah, it was crazy. And the funny thing about Dean Mahan was when I was a senior in high school and I made it through.
He tried to date you.
No, I had to take his class, because you ended up in different classes, and there was an ethics class, and they had different teachers for them, and I ended up in his class, and that was the only time that he actually started to not fuck with me as much was when I was in his class, and he saw that I was a good student, and I was like, he must have thought I was cheating in school too to be able to have good grades until he saw me in his own class.
Of course he thought.
But even then, it's like, you've already told me that I don't belong here, that I'm going to hell. That, you've just made my life a living hell this whole time, so you can go fuck yourself still. What the hell?
Wow.
Yeah.
That guy.
Catholic school does a number on people's
Yeah. I think the whole religion does.
religion.
does a number to people.
I was raised Catholic. It fucks with you.
I was raised Catholic for
principal-
like 6 years,
Our
so not a
principal
lot.
ended up
but
getting
a
in
little.
trouble for Father Kirshner for, you know what? He had to resign.
Oh my
And,
god.
child molestation accusations.
That's horrible.
Yeah. Great school, guys.
Yeah, really good school.
They called it a college prep school. I mean,
Yeah.
I did get into college. And,
Well, lots of people get into college.
yeah. My little scholarship,
Damn. Man,
rough. I can't believe
rough. That was clowny, but I feel like you didn't have a lot of choice,
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. It's
I
if
just
you're
did
going to be in trouble, fuck it. I'm going
Yeah.
to take it up a notch. But again, it's, that feeling of being funny and people enjoying it and not ratting me out because they know that I moved the cart because it's like I'm keeping things entertaining.
Oh, that was your people would
Yeah.
the students liked you more because
Yeah.
you were rebelling.
Yeah, well, because it was it was funny for them, to watch and not
Sure.
yeah,
and not have to
exactly.
be the one doing it.
Right, because but also just I'm so anxious. What else am I doing? I'm wandering around. It's not I don't know. I just never.
Yeah, it definitely didn't make high school easier.
No, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed fucking with them and getting kicked out of class. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be in here anyway.
Do you think that's sort of why you prefer to have because you're your own boss now? Do you think that was sort of started sowing the
I'm not
seeds
really my
of
own
you?
boss, but I am in the sense that I don't really get managed. I technically have a boss, but she
Yes,
doesn't.
yeah, you're right, but you do kind of have.
No, for sure. I don't do well with, that's why cops hate me too. I don't do well with
Yeah,
authority.
I see this being a common thread through your story.
But it's also just
all forms of
my voice, they always are
Authority.
drop the attitude. And I'm like, no, this is just what I sound like, Maybe I'm making jokes, but Yeah, it's not on purpose. I'm uncomfortable, so that's why I'm doing it. Like, never let me speak to the police if we get pulled over. I'll get arrested.
I made a joke one time when I was talking to the cops, or I said something kind of like smart alecky, and that scared the shit out of me. So I learned that one quickly.
What did they do? What did they say to you?
They had us handcuffed on the street while they were searching Roman's car. And I don't remember exactly what I said. It was just something smart alecky about how we weren't doing anything, and then he just he kind of stepped up to me a little bit and was just we're gonna when we fucking find something or something but he kind of not physically scary I didn't think he was gonna but he still was
he showed you who his boss. See, cops are the worst.
I'm way too nice to cops
who becomes a cop because they just really care about people. I think 5 of them maybe, but then the rest of them
I want to help humans.
The rest of them were I was bullied and now I'm going to become a cop and be in control of things.
Man, high school sucks, you guys. I have a lot of anxiety right now.
I had a lot of fun, but
I know.
I had fun for a lot of it too, but it was rough. It was kind of rough.
Yeah.
Of course it's rough. If it's not rough, that's problematic.
Yeah. If the people who say that was the best years of their lives, then you were the bully.
And it is a time of growing pain, you have to be socialized. You have to take the hits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And learn the lessons.
You have to fuck up. If you don't fuck up
then you're not
super
learning.
Embarrass yourself, then you're not going to go into your adulthood with the correct amount of shame. You need a little.
Well, thankfully, we have that capacity. Some people don't even have the capacity to acknowledge their flaws and change. And I feel bad for those people. I'm like, wow, you're going to suck forever now because you don't.
Well, or I feel bad for the people around motivated to some degree to be a okay person in society.
Yeah, where you're allowed.
Has to be a motivation to want to be liked.
Yeah, but other people lie and manipulate to get that way versus changing to be better, that sort of shit.
Or those people who are I'm just a certified asshole. It's that's just who
They've
I am.
Given
it's
up.
No,
that's
just
given
such,
up.
That's such bullshit.
That's not my jam.
That is not a...
People being proud of being an asshole. I'm not proud of being a dumbass. Whenever I, even... just partying, although it was fun, I'm I know that doesn't make me cool that I did a bunch of drugs.
I'm not proud of
and stole, was I want more alcohol at this party, and I'm going to look in this cabinet of this person's house and then get caught.
But honestly, I am grateful I wasn't a goody two shoes. I was for a minute in high school, but.
The impression knocked it out of you. You didn't,
that
showed you the better way.
Yeah, you got a taste of that.
Yeah,
that risky lifestyle.
I love that the way you describe doing that impersonation is akin to doing heroin for a young Mary Elaine. It's you just needed it.
Yeah. Oh, I needed it.
I love the running back. Oh, they're calling me up for it.
Yep.
I remember all the senior girls' names. One girl was named Vanessa Rathbone.
Oh my God,
and she was 5'10" and wafy and long blonde hair. And then she ended up going to Brown, and I was just anything Vanessa asks.
Vanessa gets.
Yeah.
Vanessa is
so
such
funny.
a hot girl name, too.
Oh, she was
Vanessa
the ultimate.
Rathbone.
And she was nice, but kind of aloof. She just had it just right.
Oh, God, I hated the cool
How to be
kids.
Aloof, dude. I don't know.
I've never once been able to be aloof in my entire life. I don't have that skill.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well.
Damn. Well, let's never be in high school again.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Don't be a clown just to be a clown, you guys.
Yeah.
It gets you into trouble.
Find
an identity.
Mm-hmm. I just wear really striped socks now.
That's cool.
That's my
Lift
identity.
Them up. Let's see. Oh, boy.
See?
They're green,
and you have
yellow,
a tattoo.
and blue.
And I've got tattoos and socks. That's my identity.
Tattoo is another great personality.
Yep.
Neck tattoo is a personality. I don't know. Face tattoo.
God.
Uh-oh.
That's too much personality, even for me.
Yeah. Mary Elaine, is there anything that you would like to promote or talk about? This won't come out this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday.
December 10th.
December 10th.
This comes out.
I'm starting a show with Overheard LA at the Comedy Store.
Oh, awesome.
And each month there'll be a regular lineup and then a celebrity who's never tried stand-up comedy will do a set. Yeah. And it's this week is our first show. but it's going to be a monthly thing, first Tuesday of every month.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and I messaged her. I'm like, Mary Elaine, why? Why'd you have to do it on a Tuesday?
Because
Because I would totally come. But it's such an easy, good day for that.
Good day.
Tuesday's a great comedy day.
So what are you doing on Tuesday? Nothing.
Comedy.
Not coming to my show anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
And I fucking love your show.
Thank you.
I love your show.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
It's
the
fun
hottest
show.
mic in
It's a
town.
staple.
Yeah. And speaking of that, on the 17th, me and Landon have our last show of the year at the Hollywood Hotel. And last year I dressed as Santa Claus, and he sewed an outfit. It was a Christmas tree, but he didn't finish, so he just looked ridiculous.
He looked like he was dressed like half a hobbit or something. He looked elven.
I'm like, Landon, what is this? It was so funny, but he had a little beanie with a star. I'm like, oh, you're a tree. It
was
cute.
Adorable.
But this year we decided to do because we're getting Andrew Max Levy to take photos again for the final show, and we're gonna do sort of like a glamorous Hollywood thing because it's at Hollywood Hotel. So straight up, I'm gonna wear a gown and Landon's wearing a tux, and we're gonna encourage people to dress fancy. I'll get Johnny to give us discount martinis. We're gonna be fancy, you guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fun. I can make it to that one.
Yay!
I'll dress fancy.
Cool. I can be there. Yeah.
Hell
yeah.
Dressing fucking fancy.
Dressing fancy.
I love Andrew.
Yeah, he's the best.
He is so fucking funny.
Yeah, he's funny too.
He's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He should be a comic.
Yeah, great photographer. He's a writer though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's really funny. And that's why he's a comic photographer.
Putting us in his stuff.
Yeah, he really should. I think he's hilarious. Andrew, we love you.
Yeah, we really
free
do.
plug for Andrew. What's his last name?
Max
Just off
Levy.
the six.
Yep. Just off the six.
Just off the
yeah,
six.
That's how I know
on
him.
Instagram. And your Instagram, Mary Elaine, is
at Mary Elaine Ramsey.
Wow, complicated.
You know what I would love is 10,000 Instagram followers. Yeah. So if you're promoting a show, you can do swipe up.
Oh my God.
Instead of me like a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Link in bio.
Yeah, no, I hate that. You either need a blue check mark or the 10,000.
Fucking bullshit.
I did figure out a workaround to that, but you have to make an Instagram TV video that's a minute long at least, and then you can put a link in the thing. It's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated.
And then nobody knows how to do it anyway.
I don't think I figured it out.
They're like, what are you talking? Well, you can't do it from the Hardway Pod.
I was probably doing it from... No, I would have been doing it from one of my other ones.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Whatever.
Give
us all 10,000 followers for Christmas, okay?
Yeah, that's what we would like.
Listeners, all right, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for coming,
Thank you guys for having me. This was so much fun.
This was great. Thank you.
And everybody, don't be a fucking clown, okay?
Especially when you were in high school.
There you go.
Boom.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.